Hey guys, welcome back to episode 4 of this Island Empire series. We're getting pretty close to the final episode, so yeah, I hope you guys are looking forward to it. So, as you all know, I finished conquering Ireland, New Zealand, all that, right? And so I once again gathered my troops, which, I've realized they were scattered. And Iceland, I was about to get them out of Iceland, but then all of a sudden a revolt happened. So, if you guys remember from the last episode, I mentioned this as in that, the Irish burning stuff down would result in consequences. Well, yeah, here they are. So I had to dedicate a couple turns after that to holding some like festivals and assimilating the region, just so that I could avoid another revolt. And for now, I decided to move all my troops there onto that one province until things were all right, right. And as the happiness gradually increased, I just left them there to stay there and like make sure no more revolts happen. Afterwards, I started mass recruiting again, and gathered up all my forces in Sri Lanka, right? And did a double, like I recruited twice actually. So yeah, I was really making sure I had enough for this one. And once I gathered up all of my strength, increased it even more. Canada and Morocco attacked me for some reason, but they both backed off. And I decided that now was the time to invade the Philippines. And so I invaded and attacked, but I realized India was at war with them too. So I would need to make sure I could do this fast, or else half this island is not mine. So I started the attack. I went in, right? I tried to fight the best I could, but the Philippines basically just held me back. And I was about to make a peace deal, but then I realized India was down there. So what I started doing was I started retreating and I let them take the rest of the territory. And I decided that, okay, while I take the time to build up, I'm gonna just let them fight it out and let the Philippines kick out India so that I could take all the territory once they were done. Meanwhile, I started mass recruiting even more than I did before, right? I think I recruited like 4 times over for this one, right? Just to make sure that I would win this war, right? And like finally be able to win. And meanwhile, the Philippines were out here kicking India out of the out, and they'd already finished it already. So I came in with the second invasion right from the north. This time, however, they could not beat me, and this time the offensive was at as fast as you'd expect. Really, I did not really stop whatsoever. They tried a counterattack, but ultimately that counterattack failed, and soon enough I was on the way, right, just down conquering it. And some Indian troops even did show up to like the coastline. I literally see them, but I was too fast, and so just like that I was able to take over the entirety of the Philippines. It was a pretty costly war, I'll be honest. Like the first invasion completely failed. Keep in mind that was still a big force, but we got the Philippines, which is a great source of manpower. So in the end, it's worth it, right? And so once that war was done, I started assimilating. I mean, of course, right? And I started moving my troops up to like Manila so that I could just like take them out of there and prepare them to go off on their next attack. Meanwhile, I thought about the next possible attack and I realized, okay, Australia is a likely candidate, but there's also Madagascar. They're different ones, right? But I moved these guys to New Zealand because what I wanted to do was I wanted to use New Zealand's manpower instead and like form up the army over there. And so I want, like, the way I do it, you guys know, right? I like to gather up all my forces in one place before launching an attack so that it's more organized this way. And all these guys are here. I increased the military upkeep buff to like the max I could, and I moved these guys all the way to Madagascar. So these guys went a long way across the Indian Ocean. And once I started attacking, it was straight from the north. They did not have anything to stop me. However, what they started doing is start doing that annoying thing by the AI where they just start naval attacking you relentlessly. It was incredibly frustrating. I still continued moving forward, but I held troops back so that I could ensure they would not, be able to like get me behind my lines. And they actually managed to land some successful naval invasions and kill my forces. But I already, like as I said, I already had backup forces ready, and which immediately counterattacked their attack. And so just like that, I was able to like stop all of their naval invasions and prevent a encirclement, and I was able to take over the entire country, simply put. And so that was a relatively very clean invasion, actually. So just like that, I take it on Madagascar again, another huge source of not only income but this thing. What do you call? Another huge source of manpower and income. Now, Portugal ended up declaring war on me, so I got both Spain and Algeria to declare war on them. I just wanted to, get them, like, die, right? Meanwhile, I could steal the Azores and just, like, take their islands and then just leave. And I decided for fun that I'd take, like the Portuguese territories in Africa. And the thing was, what I didn't realize was I realized like, Cameroon was at war with me. And I made peace for these territories, right? And then what ended up happening was, as soon as I made peace, Cameroon came and took it over. And I was like, okay, Cameroon is like a little too powerful. So maybe we'll get all these nations to attack Cameroon, maybe we can like weaken them, right? And I could get my land back, because I didn't even want this land. Like, genuinely, I wouldn't have mind like giving it to Cameroon, but at the same time, I just wanted to create a puppet state. So I didn't want that either, right? So I didn't care how that war went. I just started assimilating Madagascar, because I realized that was left for me to do. And once I did that, I just started moving these troops away. I completely ignored what was going on in West Africa, right? But finally, I decided to reach a peace deal with Cameroon. They still didn't accept. And so the second I waited, and the second I got my territory back, like, I got it exchanged to me, I decided to just, like, let it go. Meanwhile, France was, like, declared war on me, and they were too powerful, so I got a bunch of nations around them to declare war, right? And that was going on. Meanwhile, Norway was getting invaded by Hungary, that's the most normal thing that happens. And I thought about which nation to release, and I just decided, like, oh, maybe let's go search for a nation to release here. And then I was like, you know what? Why not just release which country did I end up releasing? I forgot. It was why not just release South Korea? Yes, South Korea in West Africa. Yeah, that makes the most sense ever. But that totally makes sense, guys, right? Of course. Meanwhile, I decided to declare war on Sweden. Why did I declare war on Sweden? Well, I wanted their islands, specifically their islands in the Baltics. And so I just started, I sent my troops over there and I let them do their own thing. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the world, I decided to start raising a massive army in the Philippines while that invasion was going on, because honestly, that's just a sideshow, right? And I started moving all my troops to Manila and gathering up my strength, right? All that was going on. Meanwhile, the invasion in Sweden was going great. I'd already taken the first island. Soon the second one would follow. Meanwhile, I realized, okay, the invasion of Italy, or the Italian islands, was going to come soon. And so that's what I really took my, this thing, people in the Philippines. That's what I mobilized for. Meanwhile, I realized that there were islands above Norway, like the ones that Norway normally controls, but they were under Poland for some reason. So I got the neighboring countries near Poland to attack them, and causing Poland to give in to my demands more easily and let me just have these islands. Honestly, who needs them anyways? It's just like barren wasteland. And so I decided to attack Italy then, once my troops were prepped up and ready. And the invasion was going great. Italy was at war with France. And so I was free to do whatever I wanted. Now, here's where I make a slight mistake. I could have, I decided to leave Corsica because I knew Italy would need it. And I also realized that Algeria has completely destroyed Italy. And so I got France to attack Algeria so that those two wouldn't completely gang up on Italy. Meanwhile, Algeria got pushed out of Sicily, which left the gate open for me to enter. And just like that, I'd seized both Sicily and Sardinia from Italy, and I decided, okay, that's where I'm done, and ended the war. So just like that, that brings us to the end of our episode 4 for these island series. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.